So I finally played Castlevania Symphony of the Night this Halloween. For years, people have been telling me it's one of the greatest video games ever made. You've got to play it. So does it live up to the hype? And what's the best way to play it on a modern console? Let's chat about it. There was a big period in my life when I missed playing video games, about a 15-year window. So on this channel, I'm looking to play some of those games, talk about them here on the show. Maybe you can work your way through this backlog with me, bringing some retro games to a modern audience, I guess. So what's weird is that Symphony of the Night was released in 1997 on the PlayStation 1. And guess what? I played the hell out of my PlayStation 1. I loved that machine. So I'm not sure exactly how in the world I missed this game. I was in my second year at the time at the University of Pittsburgh when this game came out, so I think I was feeling a little lost in my life at that time, unsure what I was going to do with my life, and I don't think I had money for video games. There was a girl that I was crazy about, so maybe that had something to do with it, who knows? So 26 years later, I'm finally getting around to playing this game. Now, earlier this October, I played the original Castlevania, and I beat that game with my 13-year-old son. He actually beat it more quickly than I did. It was a super tough game, of course.
I just finished Castlevania.
How'd it feel?
It was tough, but it's really cool to be able to say that I finished it.
I never beat it as a child. My friend across the street, Jeb, he owned the game. I never owned the game, so it was time to get that off of my backlog. So with that complete, my friend Johnny over at the Happy Console Gamer said, Clayton, you've got to play Castlevania Symphony of the Night. He said, I'm telling you, drop whatever else you have planned for this Halloween and play this game. Trust me, he said. So I took his advice, and let me just say out of the gate, I'm glad I did. Holy cow, this game is amazing. Now, I have plenty of gamer friends in my circle who've never played this game before. I was talking to them the other night. So I'm not going to spoil anything major at all because I want all of them to play it and I want all of you to play this game. I'm going to show you some fun transformations that occur and some gameplay, but I'm going to refrain from showing you any boss fights or any big spoilers like that. I'm telling you, you have to play this game. So first of all, let's talk about how do you play this game. Konami, for whatever reason, refuses to bundle this game with the other big Castlevania collections, which is super frustrating. For instance, I have the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, which is amazing for the Nintendo Switch. That's how I played the original Castlevania, and you can play all of these other games, all of these other great Castlevania games on one Switch cart. That's fantastic. That collection has 8 of the original games in order of release, but it skips over Symphony of the Night. I think they clearly know it's the best Castlevania game, so they don't want it bundled into a collection. They want to separate it out. But let me tell you, it's a damn shame it's not available on the Nintendo Switch, because I would be loving to play that game on an OLED screen in handheld mode. I bet it would look amazing. Hopefully Konami will listen to me and release something for the 30th anniversary edition and coming up here in a few years on the Switch 2 or whatever handheld. I would love to play this on an OLED screen in handheld mode. I bet it would look and sound amazing. So of course, if you're a retro collector, you can go out there and buy the original PS1 disc, play it on a PS3 if you want, if you still have a PS3. Remember, all PS3 machines will play all PS1 games through a software emulator, or you can play it on your original PS1 on a CRT television, or using something like the RetroTink to play it on a modern HDMI television. So those are some options. But of course, in the year 2023 into 2024, the best way right now to play this game is the PS4 special release that you can buy on Amazon right now. Yes, it's a PS4 collection of Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Castlevania Rondo of Blood, which is another amazing game. So you can get 2 games on one disc that you can play on your PS4 or your PS5. So I played it on the PS5. It's also available digitally in the PlayStation Store if you just want to grab it that way. Sadly, the menu looks like garbage, and this collection doesn't give it the love and attention that I think this game deserves on this collection. It's kind of a half-baked little collection release, and I'm not impressed with how you can play this game. So again, I'm hoping for a better release someday soon that will give it the love and attention this game deserves. Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about the game, shall we? First, I have to talk about the music. I know people say this is one of the finest video game soundtracks ever made, but great, I want to hear it for myself and have my own experience. And boy, even when I wasn't playing this game, I would be thinking about this music, sort of humming it in my head as I was walking around the house. I'd wake up thinking about this music. It became sort of ingrained in my brain, and I just loved it. And even when I wasn't playing the game, I'd put the soundtrack on in my office on my HomePods and just listening to it. And there's been a lot of rain here over the past few weeks, and it's been kind of dark and a little dreary. So it's been a perfect complement to this spooky season listening to this great soundtrack. And it's not terribly spooky. It's just atmospheric and beautiful. One song in particular, Crystal Teardrops, has blown me away with its jazziness and its arrangement. And you come across this song when you're in the lower part of the castle, down in the watery areas, where you have the death boat driver that takes you around. Just gorgeous. But I just want to play a few seconds of it here because this song has me blown away. It became one of my favorite songs in the soundtrack. Gosh, I love that. And I love the other sort of choir falsettos and other songs and synthesizer keyboards. I feel like the music ranges from jazz to classical to kind of even some hardcore rock at some certain parts. It's really cool as you traverse different parts of the castle to sort of set the stage. Let's talk about the voice acting, of course. I've learned over the years, of course, people make fun of the voice acting in this game. They call it cheesy as hell. But man, I love the charm of it. The dialogue is cheesy. The written dialogue, doesn't help matters. Even if you had great voice actors, the written dialogue would be pretty cheesy. But that's the charm of this game.
Dracula, die now and leave this world. You'll never belong here.
Oh, but this world invited me. Your own kind called me forth with praise and tribute.
I was trying to picture how Symphony of the Night would feel if it was really serious. If then there was some great voice acting associated with it. I don't think it would work. I think this is like a time capsule. This beautiful 2D sprites, the music, some cheesy voice acting, all of it comes together just perfectly.
Ha! Mankind! A cesspit of hatred and lies!
Let's talk about the gameplay. It reminds me, of course, of Metroid, the original Metroid, going back and forth. I'm not strong enough to go through this door yet. I have to go back and get stronger, this back and forth of it. But I never got tired of it, because you're unlocking things as you progress through the game. You level up, finding different items. You come back and you get through these different impediments that you weren't able to get through earlier. Can't get through these spikes. Great, I've got to do something. I've got to find an armor. I've got to find a spike breaker armor to get through this door, through these spikes. I can't climb these walls yet. I can't jump high enough yet, and I need to be able to double jump, so I need to level up in that regard. But I never felt bored going through this castle because, yes, you go through areas multiple times over and over again, but there was a sense of accomplishment because now that I was coming back through this area, now I'm stronger. And these enemies that had once kicked my butt earlier in the game, now they're no match for me. With one sword swipe, they're dead, where it used to take me 5 to kill these guys. It's really, it's empowering in some way. You felt incredibly strong. Now, all these enemies that scared me at the beginning of the game felt really, really weak. With one slice of my sword, they were dead. It's incredibly satisfying. The 2D sprites look amazing. The background animations when you're up in the church and you're out on the wall, the outer wall, and you're seeing the clouds and the night sky and the moon. It just looks stunning. There's a great RPG structure to this game that I didn't realize before playing the game. Choosing sunglasses or a helmet or different things to put on my head gives me protection and defense up capabilities there. Adding different armors, of course, adding different defense options. Choosing between different swords. So they can choose a two-handed sword. Well, then that takes away one of my hands, right? So I've got to use a two-handed sword. Or I can use one sword in one hand and a shield in the other. I can choose different necklaces to wear, different gemstones to wear to level up. And as you go through, of course, you're finding different relics that give you different powers that allow you to become a wolf and become a bat. And you can shoot fireballs as a bat. And it really is amazing. You feel like the castle also opens up in new ways when you get these new experiences. This was amazing to me. I thought, okay, I've really understood this castle. I've gone through the whole map. Now I turned into a bat. Now that I've got this bat power, there's all sorts of areas in the castle that I couldn't go to before, and I wanted to go back to those spots, finding different power-ups and different heart max items and things like that to really level me up. It was super exciting. The castle sort of opens up in a whole new way. So let me just say this. I was approaching the 100% mark of the game, and I thought, okay, I'm almost done. I've put about, 20 hours into the game at this point. And by the way, when people say they can beat this game in like 5 hours, great. I mean, I don't know who these people are, but there's no way you're doing this and getting all of these items and experiencing the game to its fullest. I can't even comprehend how you could finish this game in 4 hours. It doesn't make any sense to me. So as I was approaching the 100% mark, I thought, okay, I'm nearing the end. I'm excited about this, but boy, I was completely wrong. Because let me just say 100% doesn't mean anything in this game. This game was not finished. I'm not going to ruin anything for you because I want you all to play this game. And don't read into any spoilers. I don't want to give away anything, but something incredibly special happens when you think you're done. And I'll tell you, I just was blown away by the Konami designers of this game. The forward thinking of how they did this. I don't know how they pulled this off. My brain cannot comprehend how they pulled this off. It's an unbelievable world of exploration that they've created here. And all I'm going to say is you have to play this game. Let me just finish up by talking about the enemies here. I love the enemies in this game. They're so unique. Some of them made me laugh out loud. Some of them truly creeped me out, like the mannequins. These mannequins would start coming towards you all creepy and bendy and making these weird creaking noises, and freaked me out when I first saw them for the first time. There's very gory bosses, there's gory villains. One particular boss had these like decaying limbs where if you got caught by the drippings, it was like poison. Ugh. Another one had like a giant ball of corpses that would rain down on your head. Again, I'm not going to really spoil it, but I will tell you that it was pretty entertaining and had quite the gore factor. My least favorite enemy in this game is Flea Man. If I never see Flea Man again, I will be happy in my life. This little guy bounces around and jumps on you like a flea, super annoying, then you can't hit him. Like such a pain in the butt. You need like nunchucks or something to get this guy. I hated Flea Man. I love that each of the different enemies in this game required a different thought process. And either I'm going to crouch down here, a sword swipe's not going to work because it's going to push me closer to their spikes, or all sorts of different ways to approach these enemies. And each of them required a different skill set, a different thought process to attack these enemies. They were a ton of fun. You know, sometimes playing old games can feel a little bit like a chore, right? We have now new modern menu structures that we're used to in 2023, 2024, right? There's breadcrumbs that let us know, hey, I've been through this way before, like playing Metroid Prime Remastered. I was like, wait a second, I've been here before, but I didn't know because there's no breadcrumbs to let me know that I've been through. And I thought, oh, maybe this is going to piss me off going back to 1997 to play this game. And I have to say, it didn't feel that way at all. I thought it might be a bit of a chore, and let me just say it wasn't. It held up even under the modern experiences like Dead Cells or Grim Grimoire or other great modern 2D platforming games in the Metroidvania style. Doesn't bother me at all. So you have to go back to this classic game, the one that started it all. Thank you so much for suggesting that I play this game. I hope all of you will go out and play Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It is a true gem. Have you guys played it? Are you going to play it? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.